Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe, guys. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geek. We encourage you to stay geek, man. Listen, we are back again with a brand spanking new one for you guys. Of course, y'all already know it is your boy Real. Got my cuz Will. Got my boy BA. And the man who think he bad is that boy Big J, man. What up, everybody, man? Listen, if you guys are into geek content, man, y'all are in the right place, man. Go ahead and do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, man. Join us for all these type of conversations. And also, too, man, everybody, please hit them likes for us tonight. Help us to get the algorithm going by hitting them likes. And that way we can find more geeks like yourselves to join us here. All right, man. Look, today, some Marvel questions need to be answered. We're going to talk about that. And a few Spider-Man news. Can't talk now. Spider-Man news dropped today. One of them should be good news for us, but we got some questions still about this movie moving forward. So, you guys ready to get to it?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's get into these quick hits. What? Marvel Studios still needs to resolve 5 MCU plot lines before Avengers Secret Wars. All right, fellas, let's see what we got for number 1 in this joint. This is a good one right here, y'all. What happened to the Council of Kings? So, any of y'all guys got any theories on what happened, man? Because listen, the way it ended in Loki, was it season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, we got some questions. Let me start with you, cuz like you got anything you want to add to this, man? You got any theories of what could have happened?
They got lost in the sauce. What's ridiculous about it is the fact that they haven't hinted at it. So the fact that they've hinted at. So first, they when it came to different areas, which we'll talk about in the show, they've hinted at different things to try to close out certain areas. That's what I'm wondering when it comes to Kang. We know that they're getting ready to bring Fantastic Four is coming, getting ready for the next set of Avengers movies. Would that be like a not necessarily a teaser, but like a post-credit scene where they bring it back up to get ready to close it out? Because they need to talk about it, because you don't have all those that whole council. You see them getting ready to go, and then it's the spirit. Like, so do we have to wait to the next Ant-Man movie to find out? At this point, like that's what's so crazy about it. It's like also the last time I really saw or heard anything about it was the Ant-Man movie, and then also with Jonathan Majors, the legal side of a lot of his issues have been dealt with. Would they be comfortable using his image again? And yes, I'm sure they shot a lot of his stuff at this point, but would they feel comfortable? Has there been enough time that has passed as well for them to bring it up? So that's probably what happened to us. Council Kang is stuck in, got Me Too. So once they get through that and get straightened out, then they'll be able to get back. So what y'all think?
What about you, Big J?
I think they're going to have to do something kind of like what they did with Nova and Infinity War, where they kind of either going to say something, have it off screen, which I think that would suck. I think the best thing they could do is maybe, and I haven't heard anything about this being one of the post-credit scenes, but maybe for the Fantastic Four, if you were to do like a post-credit scene introducing Doom, I heard there's one, but I'm talking about the one I would do is something where like they show him trapping that Council of Kings in the stadium in like a pocket dimension or something. That way they sideline, not killed, because I've heard them talking about maybe having him kill him to show a flexes, but maybe like if you could put him in like a pocket dimension to trap them, so that way they're out of the way for this whole saga versus, doing something weird to say, just mention it off screen. Oh yeah, he killed all the Kangs or something,
Okay. What about you, BA?
That makes sense.
That's kind of what they was hitting to when it was when on Loki season 2. They pretty much said like we ain't got nothing to worry about. There's no blips or anything like that. And Ant-Man had killed one of them. That right there totally pissed me off. Let's just understand that. The fact that this. Okay, so I'm a big Kane fan first and foremost. So when I saw that he was going to be in Ant-Man versus Ant-Man, Kane versus Ant-Man, all that, I was like, yo, this is it. Like this is it. You got Jonathan Majors. I was a fan of Jonathan Majors. Say, yo, he's about to just tackle all this thing, and he lost to Ant-Man and got sucked into that. I said, yo, this is horrible. So I don't like the way they went. I don't like the way they're just trying to brush everything off. I don't want him to come back and just to get destroyed by Doom. I would hate that. I understand if they do that, but I would hate it. I mean, the fact that they had a pivot as a brand, like everything was leading towards facing these three that you have on here. On the Disney Plus shows, Moon Knight, they was leading up to going against Ramatata and things like that. Like everything was leading towards this. Even when we talk about what we're going to talk about later on, and probably the next question, everything was leading and centered around Kane. And then the fact that they pivot and the fact that they just completely gloss over it like it didn't happen, it pisses me off. And it is, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, they're just not here anymore. All thousands of them gone.
It's funny. It's funny y'all said that, man, because like you said, at the end of Loki, it was as if like they swept the trash on the floor and just swept it up under the rug. Like, hey, just don't ignore that over there. Don't pay attention to that over there. And that's exactly what they did. Listen, man, I told me and Cuz talked about this on the show a while back when we talked about the idea of Kang being the next bad for the MCU. We talked about, listen, if you knew who Kang was, if you thought Thanos was a problem, this dude is throughout time in every variant of time. He's some kind of problem in the multiverse, right? We talked about all this. Man, I'm trying to explain, like I always said before, like my wife, she don't know nothing about all these characters and nothing, right? So she asks me questions or she follow these different channels who break stuff down. So I would tell her, like, who this guy is, man. I'm telling you. Kang ain't nothing. It's a bad dude. You don't want this is crazy right here. I'm sitting there trying to picture how they gonna have the Avengers beat this guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he can manipulate time and all that stuff, right? And then, like you said, BA, the very first movie, they got him going against Ant-Man. Now, my thought was, I remember saying this on the show, like, I don't know how that will work. I don't know how Ant-Man by himself is gonna beat Kang. You know what I'm saying? Because he's an Avenger level threat. So I'm like, okay, we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Whatever. So then my mind was, okay, if he's gonna go up against Kane, what's gonna end up happening is he's gonna lose in the first fight, right? The first movie, and then they're gonna show you how dangerous Kane is, and then all it's gonna lead to these other movies and stuff, which at the end is gonna lead up to Kane Dynasty or whatever. That was the idea I had. So Marvel kind of had that idea too before some people in suits start going in there and nitpicking and meddling and all that stuff, and start. Because matter of fact, at first they said that both Ant-Man and Wasp were gonna die in the movie, or both were going to lose in the movie in any type of capacity, right? They were going to lose. They said they went back and redid it, and all of a sudden, like you said, he got beat up by a pile of ants. It's like, bro, come on, that's not Kane. Then to make matters worse, you made him look like a joke in Loki season 1 and 2. So it's like, so we really didn't really just his variant was a joke, but still though, like you see him, he's Kang or whatever, right? For the average audience. And so when you did that to him, bro, you made folks say like, I mean, it is whatever. And then people started talking about how he hated the multiverse or whatever, right? All because of how you handle Kang. That was not necessarily his fault. He only worked with what y'all gave him. That's how y'all handled the Kang character. And now instead of you kind of like putting a nice little bow on it, man, you just, like you said, you're killing the guy off screen, talk about, we ain't got to worry about that no more. Like, this guy's supposed to be a multiversal threat. Something to get rid of. It's supposed to be a continuous thing. He even brought it up before in Loki season 1. You kill me, then another variant gonna come. It's gonna start right back over. So now you telling me you completely just cut that bloodline off, and now we don't have no more Kang, just off screen. Like
I'm about to say the fact that Thor had that dream sequence in Ultron, in Age of Ultron, where he was pretty much predicted the future. Everything that pretty much happened in his dream sequence actually somewhat happened kind of way. I was like, I seen more death scenes from Avengers and things like that in that dream sequence than I did when Kane was going through what he was going through and said, like, aren't you the one with the hammer? They should have shown a scene of him destroying Thor with the hammer. Like it could have been that easy. You could have had the same damn movie. And the fact that they could have just showed clips of him dominating Avengers, not just kind of wiping out things that you really can't see with his powers, the Avengers dying from him. That would have been all we needed. And it was like, yo, this dude is really bad. And Ant-Man just happened to get away with one. We didn't get that. So
no, because you decided to talk him up. You know what I'm saying? When Thanos came onto the scene, you saw him. Okay, this dude ain't nothing to play with, right? The way he did the Hulk and all that type of stuff.
That was it.
You seen
intro.
it. Yeah, that was it. That was the intro. That's it. Like, oh, okay, this ain't nothing to play with. You saw what he just did to the Hulk. Same thing with Kane. You're sitting there telling us, oh, I did something bad to Thor. Okay.
But you know what though?
I never seen it.
No, I was gonna say what I did like though is what they did with him as He Who Remains in Loki season 2, because he seemed more sinister. Because remember when Loki kept trying to go back and replay that scene and kept trying to change it, and he was like, "Oh, you finally figured that out?" You know, he was like, "Oh, I was waiting." Yeah, I was like, "I was waiting for you to figure that part out." Oh, okay. You know, keep working on it. You know, he was just like, you know, come on. You know, you catching up. And I thought that was cool. I'm like, oh, okay. He knew all along. So it wasn't. Yeah, the first one they showed him getting stabbed in the first season. Spoiler alert of Loki season 1. Yeah, I was like, oh man, you know. But like I said, when I saw him in Loki season, I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm starting to get it now. But yeah, I think they just misused him in the fact that, like I said, Ant-Man should have died. I just think they was too scared to kill him. And that show that would have shown it wouldn't have shown his power, because Ant-Man is Ant-Man. He's not like this almighty thing, but it would have shown that, oh, this is real. If you would have at least took out Ant-Man.
Oh, and then remember at the end of Ant-Man when he was walking down the street and he was kind of talking to himself in his head, he was like, "Man, nothing bad's gonna happen, right?" And he kind of like stopped and looked. That right there also kind of gave you an idea, like, yo, this threat's not over with. Something else can come down the line, right? But then, like I said, we end up having Loki season 2, and that was it. So, yeah, I'm with y'all, man. So I think. For me, I think that they probably killed the Council of Kane. I'm hoping they do something here in Secret Wars or Doomsday to kind of let us know something, but I think they killed them off screen, bro, which is stupid. But let's see what this next one is, y'all. Check this out. Number 2 is, what's the connection between the 10 rings and Kamala Khan's bangles? So for those who don't know, if you looked at
Ms. Marvel,
Miss Marvel, at the end, it talks about something where they kind of hinted at her and those the 10 rings kind of having some type of connection or whatever. We never got that answer. So, but what you think, BA? Are we gonna get an answer, or is it gonna be one of them? Just ignore it. We're gonna move on from it.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
So I thought you said Jay. So I think the connection, honestly, and this is what I was alluding to, the connection was Kang, in my opinion. If you notice how, okay, let's take Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, when he was doing his maneuvers with the 10 rings and how he had his little Ryu fireball in a sense, right? I was like, yo, that looked just like Kang's transportation joint. Like when he transport when he had that scene with Janet and all that, like in Ant-Man. I was like, yo, that's what it was. All this, forget the comments where you had the 10 rings on your finger. This particular joint, when you had them on your arm and stuff like that, I was like, yo, this is Kang's source of power. It all links together. He can transfer, he can transport, go through time, because that's what the Bengals was doing. The Bengals was transporting you through time. The 10 rings was the fact that in Shang-Chi, the fact that he could his father could take down a whole army with those rings. Like those rings were different. So if you combine those 10 rings with those bangles, and you could see his source of power was coming, shooting from his arms and things like that. I say, yo, this is all connected. This is what they was building towards. And now the fact that they can't have Kang, you can't have this, you can't have the technology linked together. So now we just completely forget it like it didn't exist once again. So to me, it all linked towards how bad Kang was going to be. Kang wanted to be as bad as he could be and take out an Eternal. Like, we're not going to forget that he didn't say that in that movie. He was going for Eternal, and then they just happened to show Eternal in Love and Thunder. That's not a coincidence. He was going for, because he got tired of being in the time loop. He got tired of doing all this over and over and over again. How do you do that? You go to the Eternal, who controls pretty much time in itself in the Marvel existence. Take that Eternal out, and then now you can escape and do and control it yourself. That was, to me, that was his plan, at least one of his plans. So when you say how is it connected, it was connected by the person that was going to use him at his fullest extent that we have not seen, and we got that robbed from us.
Thank you for making me mad, BA. Big J, what you got, man?
Well, see, I don't know if
we talked about on the show, man.
No, I don't know if y'all noticed though, but when they did that flashback scene when Kamala's grandma, I think, found the bangle, it was in a temple, and then the temple had the symbol of the 10 rings in that temple. So I think, so like I said, I'm just throwing out. So I think there is definitely a connection. Plus, if you've noticed the way her bangle, when it lights up, it looks just like the rings on the forearm. Yeah, because there's 2 sections of the bangle that light up in the exact same way. And actually, from that picture, if you zoomed in, you can see it's like the 2 smaller sections. It looks just like the bands on his arm. See, it's those.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, when it's lit up, it looks just like that.
Okay. What you got, cuz?
I think because it's been a long time since we've had Shang-Chi. It's getting a long time since we've had Miss Marvel. I think they will end up showing us connection, but I think they're going to end up changing it. How the connection is set up. I would basically off of what BA said is the fact that this was leading up to Kang, and now that we have Kang removed from the picture, but they know how good everybody loves Shang-Chi. Folks who are deep Marvel, I would say, for the most part, enjoyed Miss Marvel, the show. If you were like casual, you probably didn't really catch it or whatnot, but it is what it is. But when it came to the 10 Rings, like, folks loved it. It was a great movie and been begging for a part 2. So I don't think that they're going to step away from it, primarily because of how I think moving forward, Shang-Chi will have a bigger role within the MCU. So I think they will have to get to a point where they're just going to have to explain it, even if they end up changing the story because they're moving away from Kang. But I think they will have to talk about this, their connection. It's going to, I think, when they do, I'm hoping it's going to be around Dr. Doom, as far as like being able to figure it out, or it'd be wild if it's Doom who figures it out and starts using it a little bit more and just wreak shop on it. Like, just if you just think about it, like, wouldn't it be chaos? Like, if he's the one that figures it out and get that chaos. So because he's taking over what Kang was going to do. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they're still going to have to show the connection, show how special it was, but they're just going to move from it being Kang to now it's going to be Dr. Doom doing, yeah. So, but yeah, I think they're going to end up showing. They're going to show this connection. What is it? At least was it a whole series, a whole TV series, and then a whole movie, and then bits and pieces of within other shows as well. I don't think you can escape that. Yeah, you're going to have to explain it. So I think, yeah, it's going to probably be within the next set of Avengers movies.
We wouldn't have had this problem if they could have did a few things. One, I don't know why they changed it from having bracelets on his arm to from the actual rings he had, the Macklin rings he had in the comics. I don't know why they changed it. Well, actually, they said they changed it because they didn't want people to be confused with the gems from the Infinity Stones. That's why they changed it from the rings to the bracelets or whatever, right? Two, if they had just kept it to being an alien origin, they could have made his own story off of that. Just it being alien origin as like it actually is in the comics, attached to Fiend, Fame, Foom, and all that stuff. They could have kept it to the alien origin. We wouldn't have had this issue. Now they're trying to make a whole nother backstory for this, saying it's connected to this guy, connected to that guy, or it could be connected to whatever. It's like, bro, you could have just kept it simple. Said it was an alien origin, like say something landed on when you found it. Well, in the comics, he found the ship. And he took those pieces out of the ship, which was those rings were powering his ship, and he ended up putting them on his hands. He had all 10 rings on his hands, and each one of those rings could do a particular different thing. And when Marvel got to the actual Mandarin, they said, you know what, we can't do that. We don't want to confuse the people, because also the Infinity Stones actually do something different too. Each one of them, and it's like, I think you gotta. Well, no, I know Big J gonna say no. They can't be too intelligent, bro. But I mean, listen, man, if you can't figure that part out, I mean, they could just simply just tell you, hey, man, these rings came from this ship. These rings do different things, because obviously they do something completely different from what the actual Infinity Stones do. That would have made it a whole lot simpler. That way you could have told whatever that was and been done with it. Now we're sitting here. How long ago did Shang-Chi come out? What, 4 years ago now? 5 years now?
At least, yeah.
Was it 4? Something like that. You know what I'm saying? We're still asking these questions. You should have just kept it simple, man, and attached it to it being of alien origin, Fing Fang Foom, all that stuff, man. The Macklin rings, whatever it is. It could have did something like that. Now, as far as Kamala, I'm not sure, because they changed her origin up too. Now they're saying that her bangles are the reason why she got her powers, but in the comics, she got her power because of the Terrigen Mist. She's actually an inhuman. They completely retcon that and said now she's a mutant. So that's the part I like. You should just stuck with the original, bro. We wouldn't have this issue right now, wondering, wait, man, why you didn't answer this question? That question could have been answered in those individual movies if you didn't stuck to the original script of how these characters actually are. But
well, you know, they can't mention Inhumans after that show. You know, that's why that's why they pivoted away. And
no, you're right. No, you're right. That's why he did that. I know.
But I think they also didn't they change the comic. They had a run where the girl, I forgot her name,
Crystal.
No, the one who actually did the actress, they had her come in and write some comics when they were writing her as a mutant. Now, about 2 years ago, they had to start rewriting the comics with some other Marvel people.
Cause did she die in the comics and then came back as a mutant?
I think that may have been part of the saga they were doing, but yeah, I'm serious. Right around the time the show happened, they had her. She was actually writing the comic books, and because they said she knew so much about it, she did so much research. They actually had her write a run, and so they was having her as a mutant in that run, if I'm not mistaken.
So we're not gonna ever see Inhumans ever again in life.
I mean, we got.
I mean, we did get Black Bolt. We did get we did get the Black Bolt. I know that part, but I mean, does that really count though?
No, because he died in 3 seconds.
Exactly. So
I
guess, man.
That was Mr. Fantastic betrayed him by telling his secret.
What he's gonna do is gonna start speaking right now. That's his power. Okay? Like,
he'll kill you by
smartest
speaking.
Man.
He's gonna kill you as soon as he opens his mouth. Are you ready? You prepared? Okay, go ahead now. Show her. It's like, boy, I tell you. Let's go to this third one. Number 3, man. Are the Celestials and gods connected, and how? Now, when they say gods, they mean like Thor and them, all the guys from Love and Thunder, Zeus and all them.
I would think so.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Because other than that, we haven't really got any.
Well, no, because Null killed Nowhere, right? He killed the god that became Nowhere in the comics with the Necro Sword.
Yeah.
So obviously he's somewhere in the MCU.
Well, don't do that. You know, no, don't do that. James, Ken Parker said, "Nah, bro, keep my stuff separate."
Well, no, that's Sony. You know, Sony tries to do dumb stuff, but
oh my god, that was just JBJ. I don't want to get on that, man. Golly. I'm about to get. Well, I ain't had that rant too, man, about how they treated Noel, man. They hyped him up in that movie. You thinking, okay, this is it right here. I remember telling Cuz, I'm like, I don't know how they gonna do it, because he's literally an Avenger level threat in the comic, right? This dude took out Celestials by himself, and so I'm thinking like, okay, there's got to be some kind of way they gonna, probably nerf him a little bit or something. Bro, he was buried in that movie, bro. I'm like, yeah, that led to nothing. But anyway, but nah, what do you think though, BJ? You think they gonna connect to the guys somehow?
I think so. I think they will interact. I mean, I'm sure the guys know the Celestials, but as far as deep interactions, I don't know. I think they kind of move in their own realms. You know what I mean? Because the gods are based on having people worship them and all that sort of thing, and that's how they get their power. To some extent, if I'm not mistaken, that's what they alluded to in some of the stuff where, like, the more they worship, the more powerful they become. But
You've been watching American Gods. I see what you're doing.
No, I've watched the first couple of seasons, and that show kind of jumped the shark after that.
Yeah, it did. It did.
But no, I think so. I think there'll be some connection, but I don't think there'll be a lot of interaction. I think they would have been more of that when they had, with the Eternals. If they would have continued that thread, I think we would have saw more connections. But I think they kind of left that where it's going to be.
Okay. What about you, Cuz?
Yeah, I think it'll show a connection, and I think it's going to be the guys of like your Zeus, Thor, what we saw in Love and Thunder. It only makes sense at this point how they're connected.
I wonder if the Celestials actually. I wonder if Celestials actually created the gods.
That's what the only way that I think that they'll end up showing it, like movie wise, is showing that the Celestials created them, so like they would know how to destroy the gods or more of the gods on a major scale, since they are the creators. To me, that's the only way it makes sense.
Because they weren't the aspirants like gods as well, but then the aspirants and the Celestials split and started fighting and all that in the actual comics.
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on, what happened?
So there was the Celestials before the Celestials kind of broke off. I thought there was the Celestials and the aspirants, and they're basically similar, but they're like two different factions basically. And they started fighting each other, and that led to like a war. But that was way back in the prehistory days.
Wait, I thought somebody created the Celestials. Wasn't there a being that created them, or a group of beings or something? I can't remember, but yeah, I can't remember. I thought I heard something about that, but yeah, I was wondering about that because Celestials are pretty much looked at as gods. They create universes and planets and stuff like that. Thor and them, I don't see them doing anything like that. I think they create life. I think Odin and them are create life and stuff like that too, as far as on their individual like realms or whatever. So I've always wondered, like, have the Celestials? I know Celestials created us or whatever. I wonder if they actually also created the gods. Like, how did the gods become to be? You know what I'm saying? But
so I think the Celestial. I think what you were alluding to, BJ, was like the first ferment or something like that. Yeah. So they all stem from that Celestial, and then they fought each other, whatever the case may be. But to go to the question at hand, you pretty much said it. If they created the planets and things like that, then anything within the planet they also created. So I think gods are a result of what the Celestials do, or did. And it's just sometimes some people are. They withstand that. They are bigger than what they actually was created from. Let's say Odin. Odin is bigger than some. He can take a Celestial by himself. Maybe not the top dogs, but definitely the lower tier ones for sure. Then it's like I said, and there's the hierarchy of Marvel like cosmic beings versus entities and things like that. But not to go too deep in all that stuff, but there's people that's outside of things. Y'all mentioned Noah can take a Celestial out by himself. He literally
multiple
already. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain beings that's bigger than the Celestials itself, and then you get into the Galactuses of the world, and then the Phoenix Forces, and you just keep going up, the Beyonders, and you keep going up. So yeah, I think they're connected because one stemmed from the other. Gods comes from the Celestials because you have Thor was born, right? Thor was a god. He was born. The dude that was working with carpentry, he was born, right? So on and so forth. So all these gods were born in Earth, or whatever the case, or whatever planet they come from. If the Celestials did the planets or created the planets or whatever, then A equals B equals C. Somebody had to come from somewhere.
Facts, I agree. All right, man. Let's get to this next one here, man. Check this out. Number 4. Did Thanos snap unknowingly delay multiple Celestials' emergence? That's a great question. What you think on that, BA?
Yes. See, when you say unknowingly, right? Okay. this is Eternals, right? If you had to watch Eternals, understand Eternals, and all this other stuff, and then you realize the last scene with the dude Harry Styles, and that was his brother,
Thanos'
right?
brother, yeah,
That's Thanos' brother. And if one of
Star Fox.
if let's say Salma Hayek, her character, if she can talk to the Celestials, the main Celestial, Armin, I forget his name, and they can interact with each other. Maybe some type of beacon. Maybe he knew that this was going to happen. Maybe he knew that this is a result. Maybe this was the result of Titan. Maybe Titan was destroyed through the same situation, which is why he said to Iron Man, "You're not the only one that's cursed with knowledge. I knew this too, and no one listened to me. And as a result, this is what happened, and I had to get up out of there, so on and so forth." So maybe I'm probably putting way too much lore on the fact that he
Nah, I
didn't
mean, it
know,
makes sense.
but
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happened. Maybe he knew, and he said, like, look, just the easiest thing is double vegetation on Earth. That's the easiest thing. I can't do that because we still are facing the same situation, the same problem. So I can't just do double nutrients throughout the whole entire universe. No, I have to eliminate this so that they won't come and sprout out and destroy everything. I don't know. Maybe.
So you saying Thanos had good reason to do this?
I'm saying that Infinity War, he was the hero.
Okay. Okay. All right. What about you, Big J? What you think, man?
I mean, I don't think he was aware of that part of it as far as the Celestials emerging. Because, like I said, the reasons he gave, I mean, if that was the case, he would have just told them. I mean, why wouldn't you just tell, if nothing else, tell the First Order, I mean, the Black Order, because he didn't mention that at all. They talked about, the resources being overused and all that stuff, like he was some sort of eco terrorist. And I just think that that was his thought was, well, instead of doubling the resources, let me just kill half the people, which I'm like, there was another way to go about it. You could have just doubled the resources, made the resources regenerate or something on that level. But he was like, nah,
Easy.
that's
What about you, Cuz?
I'm surprised BA doesn't have a Thanos was right sticker. Just like in in the movie. No, I think it was unknowingly. I don't want to give him that much credit. He was a great planner and tactician and stuff like that. But I think there's crazy amount of just knowing when it comes to that. So yeah, I think it was unknowingly he ended up doing it just because it has to have a certain amount or threshold essentially for the Celestials to come out, and with once he did that snap, it cut them short. So yeah, I think it was unknowingly.
I'm with you. Listen, Star Fox knew about the Celestials. Star Fox is the brother of Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely play up on that and say, yo, he did know. I can see, like you said, BA, there's ways you can say, like, oh, he knew by certain actions he did in the movies. But I'm kind of with Big J. It's like, why didn't you let everybody know? Like, fine. Well, because didn't the Celestials create the Infinity Stones? What is the Celestials? No.
no, that was.
No. I'm sorry. The Bang created them.
Mhm.
My bad. I was gonna say you could have used those to try to stop the Celestials or whatever if that was the case. Or like BJ said, you could have used those Infinity Stones and replenished the whole entire universe, so that way you didn't have to take people's lives. But yeah, as far as him, if I don't think he really knew based off of what his plan was and how he wanted to execute and all that stuff. I don't think he knew. But it does kind of, like I said, I guess it's part of one of those little plot threads that it got pulled there between that Infinity War and all that, and then the Eternals. I'm gonna say Celestials, the Eternals, because like you said, Star Fox's brother knew about him, but yet you telling me Thanos didn't know about him or whatever. So I don't know. That's and supposed and also too, BA. Remember he said in the movie the reason why Titan was destroyed is because of they had a civil war over the resources on their planet being scarce. So yeah, I mean, I don't even think that when Infinity War happened, they had the idea yet of using Celestials as part of a storyline or whatever. So it's probably why they didn't even mention him knowing anything about the Celestials. But you can put two, like I said, put two together with Star Fox's brother knowing. Chances are Thanos had to know. So, but yeah, let's get to this next one here, y'all. Check this out. Number 5. This is a little funny one here. How did Rocket get Bucky's arm, and how did Bucky get it back? So remember, he got it at the end of no, he got it in that wasn't it that special?
In the Christmas special.
Yeah, okay. And then of course you seen him have it on in Thunderbolts and what was it? Falcon and Winter Soldier came out before, right?
Yeah.
So you saw it in Thunderbolts. So it's like you folks wondering how they get the arm back. But any y'all got any theories, man, on how that could have been? Because I don't think Rocket came back to Earth. So
they had to come back to Earth because they had to drop Kevin Bacon off. Remember they kidnapped Kevin Bacon.
Why would he give it back though? He really wanted that arm.
They probably told him to give it back. Like, come on,
bro. So that's one. The first question is how did Nebula is the one that gave it to him?
Mm-hmm.
How did she get it?
I mean, it's Nebula. You saw Guardians 3. Nebula was evolved at that point. Nebula could take it. She could take Bucky.
So Nebula just made an arm for him.
No.
Yeah.
You don't think Nebula could take Bucky's arm off? Nebula fought Adam. What's his name? Adam Warlock. She fought him.
Strange. It's Adam Strange. At DC, my bad.
Yeah.
Wrong Adam.
No, she fought Adam Warlock. So she put some damage on him.
That's a clean sever. Now that's like.
I was just thinking that, bro. Yeah.
That's like it's like she knew the combination, like the Dora Milaje did. Gave him the do and the joint dropped off or something like that. So maybe she found out how to do that. She was talking to the Kill Bill people and stuff like that and found out how to do it. I don't know. That's what she did.
Shout out to James Gunn.
I had no idea, man. I had no idea how to swing this one, other than the fact that maybe the Wakanda just had an extra arm. So after
that's what I'm thinking, bro. Maybe it was the extra arm.
Yeah,
but it looks like the exact arm he's walking around with right now. He put that.
There you go.
Hey, bro, he just washed that in the dishwasher. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had it in the dishwasher. He sure did.
So I think you can disconnect. So that's obviously you can disconnect it. I think because he didn't even know about the little secret 5-finger death punch to knock his arm off. But I think you could just take it off.
So you saying he be 5-finger and death punching himself?
No, I think remember in there he just reached over, took it off, put it in dishwasher, and stuck it back on. He didn't have to go through all those extra,
So you saying he got a drawer full of arms? What you trying to tell me?
No, I'm thinking that I think he can just take it off like a regular prosthetic. I think she just took it off while he was asleep or something, and then, all the stuff, and then
get out the dishwasher.
Yep, maybe took it out of the dishwasher.
You said Nebula is the one that gave him the arm, right?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. She gifted it to him. Yeah, out of nowhere. According to James Gunn, she did it physically. She wasn't in the Christmas spirit or something like that. He tweeted out. It was meant with nothing. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm with y'all, man. Yeah, I got nothing on that one, man. What about you, Cuz? You got anything? You got any theories? I got nothing.
I think she took it out of the dishwasher. She probably tried to. I think she just broke into his house and took it out the dishwasher.
Or right. Hold on now. You feel me? Bucky old school with it. You feel me? And maybe they didn't fight. Maybe they had.
Man.
I would think that earlier, but I didn't want to say it. You
gotta let it think out. We pause. You feel me?
It snuck out.
They had a horizontal fight. You feel me? And she was like,
"Hey, because she do know him from. She do know him now.
Okay, but she's mostly cybernetic, at this point. Is she not cybernetic? I don't know if there's anything of actual.
Hey,
AI.
she's not
We
cybernetic where it counts.
entering this world of cybernetic beings. Understand this. This is where AI is taking us right now.
I don't know what kind of AI you got over there.
I'm just saying, iRobot is right. Is 20 years away, man. Maybe.
I seen Ex Machina. You know what I'm saying?
So she's.
But yeah, check this out, y'all. Got some Spider-Man news. Says Spider-Man Brand New Day is reportedly introducing the MCU's own Sinister Six. So check this out, y'all. Says insider report suggests that Spider-Man Brand New Day could feature the introduction of the MCU's Sinister Six. Attendees from recent Disney events claim Tombstone, Scorpion, Tarantula, Boomerang will appear in the film. Marvel has also been casting actors to play Mr. Negative and a mysterious female villain. So check this out too, y'all. This is supposedly the lineup right here. Okay, this is the rumored lineup. Of course, Tombstone, Mr. Negative, Scorpion, Tarantula, Boomerang, and Silver Sable is what they are. That's what they're kind of guessing is the female villain. I remember they've been trying. Well, I know Sony's been wanting to do something with a Silver Sable for the longest, and I think they might get their wish finally. So, but what y'all think about this, man? What you think about this, Big J?
I heard something about this because I heard they were talking about Stephen Yeun as Mr. Negative as one of the possibilities. It was him and another actor, I think the one who did the voice on the game or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against it as long as they just got to do it right. I don't want them to do I hate when they try and rush everybody in one thing because I mean, 2.5, 3 hours are going to be a lot of time not a lot of time to try and rush in. Now, Scorpion already exists, I know that, but the rest of those don't exist in this universe so far that we know of. We haven't met them yet. We met Matt Garza because he was the one in the first Spider-Man movie in jail. But the rest of them, we haven't seen at all. So it's like you're going to have to dump 5 new characters on them and then have them team up together. That sounds like a bad idea.
What you think, Cuz?
It's a good idea, and yeah, having Steven as Negative, Mr. Negative is, I think it's gonna be fire, especially if I see him don that suit. I'm ready for it. Yeah, I agree with Big J. Yeah, gotta be smooth with it. Introducing 5 brand new supervillains within the movie. Because we've been wanting the Sinister Six for the longest since the first Spider-Man dropped 25 years ago, essentially, or so.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So since that point, it's like it's always been like rumored and hope for there to be a Sinister Six. So yeah, if they do it, I hope. I'm hoping for it. Just do it right. Take your time with it. Introduce a new 5 respectfully, and let's get it going. I'm ready for it. This movie's getting more and more grounded as far as like just staying in New York, and it's making me happy this way. So it's making, because if they go to the Sinister Six, it's a great chance for it to stay in New York. Like grounded Spider-Man is what we need at this point, which I think.
What you think, BA?
Y'all can have this team.
Don't be negative, man. I knew you gonna...
Y'all can have this team version. It ain't Doc. It ain't Doc Ock. It ain't Lizard. It ain't. Y'all can have this, man. I'm gonna watch it. I'm a fan, but it ain't the original, and I'm just gonna have to. Yeah. I'm gonna just take it to, just it is what it is. This is what the MCU can offer me, and if they do a better job, well, let's be real, they're probably going to do a better job than what Sony was trying to do for the last however long they was trying to do it. Mm-hmm. So it's sad that this is what it comes to. It's sad that they take all the better property, the better names, and completely destroy them in a sense, right? And this is what Marvel's left with, and watch Marvel just create gold from this, right? So I'm for it. They do hit on a lot of things. Mr. Negative is one of those dudes where once you see him on the big screen, he's probably going to pretty much take over, right? Like he has that kind of a lore to him. He just seeing the production behind what he can do, that would definitely make him a little bit more appealing. But it's just not the original for me. So I'd be all right with it.
This sounds like that they couldn't decide on who to be the main bad guy. So it's just like, we did mention all these guys. Let's just go ahead and make a Sinister Six out of them. I'm with you. It's not the
do it together.
Now Scorpion was part of the Sinister Six. Now, of course, they had different iterations of the Sinister Six. He was part of the Sinister Six. Tombstone and stuff like that works for the Kingpin. No Kingpin. Sorry, Big J.
What about Vulture?
Mr. Negative.
Vulture.
No, remember, Vulture went to a whole other universe. Remember? It can't be explained for some odd reason.
Morbius don't count. That movie never happened.
I'm okay with that.
There's somebody else I was gonna mention too. Who we missing?
Not Craven.
No, none of them gonna be in there. Like I think they could have. You know what they could have did? To be honest with you, right. They could have took some liberties from the Spider-Man game with Mr. Negative being the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just kept it like that.
Yeah,
like they could use a lot of them other. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have used a lot of those different characters. Why are they trying so hard to get Lady Silver Sable to be something, man? I don't know. I'm sorry, bro. Boomerang, I'm not like, jumping for joy to see Boomerang. Tarantula, half of the folks who read comics don't even know who the heck Tarantula is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've been wanting to see Scorpion. You could do something to where maybe you get like two of the bad guys to team up. Spider-Man got to go against them, but you don't need these six for her together. Like all these people, except for maybe like Mr. Negative and Silver Sable and them, they kind of want to be their own person, right? So I don't really see them teaming up with other people to take out Spider. It doesn't make any sense. That's why I said like it seems like to me, because we did shows on this where okay, now they're saying Tarantula gonna be the bad guy. Okay, now they're saying it was gonna be Boomerang and Tombstone. Okay, now at first it was Mr. Negative. Then I remember they kept talking about they were gonna do a Silver Sable Black Cat movie. It was gonna be called Black and Silver or whatever. And so now just like, okay, we had all these ideas before. We can't pick which one we want to be the main bad guy. Just throw them together and say Sinister Six. And so that right there, guys, leads to this. Spider-Man Brand New Day has officially entered pre-production. Okay. Now the thing is, they're in pre-production, and we still do not have any concrete information on what this movie's about, who's going to be in the movie, how it ties into the MCU, where it ties into the MCU. Ain't none of that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they should have just kept it real simple. Like you said, we've been asking for a grounded Spider-Man for the last 815 years. Keep it grounded. Get like a Mr. Get Mr. Negative or something. Take some liberties from that video game, man, because that story was told excellent, man. The way they had Mr. Negative as the focal point in that game, it should have did something like that. So, but listen, like you said, BA, Marvel, I trust Marvel to handle this whole Spider-Man situation better than Sony would have. They were just doing it by themselves. So I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm not gonna poo-poo it or nothing like that before we have to see anything. But it's just like we're hearing all this stuff coming out, and we're not getting any type of concrete information on what this movie's about, who the main villain gonna be, all that stuff, where it ties into the MCU. Is it going to be grounded? Is it going to be in space? Whatever, right? We still don't have any answers yet on that. So right now they're entering in pre-production. I hope they kind of get all that squared away as they get ready to enter into principal photography and all that type of stuff. How'd that sound to you, Big J?
Go ahead.
No, I was just double checking to count the time out. So if they just starting pre-production, they're pushing it because I was looking at the when the rights revert back to Marvel. But they have to start pre-production 3 years and 9 months after the last movie was released, which that movie came out in 2021. Right. So it looks like they might be past that or right on it. I think that's why they're trying to rush it into production to beat that deadline because, like I said, if they miss it, then rights revert 100% back to Disney of all them characters, and then we could be done with all the foolishness with Sony. But that's the other thing.
Right.
The movie has to come out also 5 years and 9 months after the last one, or they lose the rights permanently too. So that's why I was just like, we cutting it close, because I know they said it was supposed to be coming out next summer, but then they push it back.
Like,
Yeah, when is it supposed to come out?
Did they push it back?
I thought. Let's see.
No, it's coming out in
Yeah.
No, wait, November?
It was either.
Oh wait, no,
I think it's still next year.
no.
It's 2026. It's 2026.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be just within. So it's gonna be 5 years. Yeah, that's the thing. I think they were talking about pushing it back because they hadn't started production. Pre-production and production are two different things. They still got to do all the special effects.
Yeah. Yep.
But
well, like I said, I was gonna say you know why they pushing it back. Cause remember we heard those stories that Marvel and them want to do something different with it, but then Sony didn't want to do something different with it. So they still bumping heads on that, on trying to decide on which direction they were trying to go in. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro.
That's because Sony wanted to do another multiverse story. They wanted to get Toby and Andrew back in there, and I'm like, and it's the same thing we talked about. It's when something makes money, the studios, let's keep doing that over and over again. You know, like we talked about with the Sinners thing. That's like, that made money. Let's keep doing that until everybody gets tired of it. Instead of let's do something new. And Spider-Man's always been a grounded character. He's a street level character. So they haven't had a street level story yet because he's been Iron Man Jr. for all of the MCU. They have to do something to let him build and have his own thing and struggle and be broke and not know how to pay rent and all the stuff that Spider-Man that we all grew up, had to deal with. This dude ain't had to do nothing. We haven't even met J. Jonah Jameson, except for the weird one on that weird Alex Jones website version that they got. They don't have the Daily Bugle, none of that. We ain't got. They got to build that part of the world.
No, we were going to say though, BA. You should say something.
And I'm about to say, and this is why James Gunn said what he said, right? Like he said, I'm not going to say that we coming out with a movie until the script is done. We have a plan.
Yes.
Greenlit. Let's go with it. This is the difference. Yep. Like we're asking all these questions. Like, is it like we don't? Oh, do they have a story? Do they have this? Do they even have a script yet that you're going into pre-production? Like how finalized is the script? Like we don't know. And I think they are kind of winging it. And that's what Marvel does. They just say like, this is a date. Do whatever you can to get things done before we go into deadlines and get caught up with stuff. And there's some of their products are terrible because of it, and then they go into months of reshoots because of it. But this is unfortunately the Marvel brand. That's all I was going to say. Just doing it all over again.
Only
it's kind of crazy.
What you say?
I'll go ahead, Chris.
I was about to say, the starting point that I need from them is to say, this Spider-Man is grounded. We'll say, okay, we started a good spot. And then just go from there. Also, if they say, we're going to take over Sony.
Oh, man, listen, they're going to be jubilation in the streets. They do that, man. But no, what he said, though, we're going to talk about that on Saturday because there were some comments that James Gunn made talking about how Marvel does things and stuff like that and some of the struggles that they have right now. There's reasons for that. So we're going to talk about that on Saturday, man. So y'all prepare for that, man. Listen, we ready to roll out here, man. Before we do that, man, let's show some love to one and only Playback.
Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite at Playback. Back to the show.
Yes, sir. I think Queen she's doing a watch along this weekend for Sailor Moon, one of the Sailor Moon movies. So she'll be on Playback for that, y'all. So y'all can join her over there. She does the anime movies and stuff like that. She did what was the one she did before this? But I know she did Akira. That's one of my favorite anime movies of all time. And I cannot think of the other one she did after that one. But you guys can go to our Playback page look us up under Glow Sun Production. Go to the replay tab, and you can see all the stuff that she did there, plus the other stuff that we done on that channel. So follow us over there on Playback, man. Let's see, fellas. I think that's gonna probably do it for us tonight, man. We definitely appreciate everybody, man, geeking out with your boys per use. We will be back here on Saturday, everybody. Oh, matter of fact, we got some questions, comments. My bad. Look who it is. Big J's #1 fan. Div says, great show, guys. Shay should win Academy Award for acting the way he gets calls. Maybe it's wrong show.
Yeah.
Boy, Div, I tell you. Big J, talk to you guys, man. Listen, man. But no, appreciate it though, man. Appreciate it, Div. And then Ariel says, but will Spider-Man be the focus of the story finally?
Questions I need answers.
I hope so. Because I know that they were talking about Hulk was going to be in the movie and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. Right now they're in pre-production, and we still don't have any idea of what this movie is about. We don't know. So we're going to have to wait, Ariel, until we pretty much figure out what their plan is or whatever. So hopefully, I always tell folks, man, we'll probably get some type of answers here coming up here in the next month or so at Comic-Con. Maybe they'll tell us something. So that's what I'm hoping, because I still got questions that I know a lot of people do. So, but yeah, appreciate that, man. Like I said, guys, follow us here. Hit that subscribe button if you're into geek content. Also, too, everybody hit them likes for us tonight, man. Help us build the algorithm up. We will be back here on Saturday morning, guys. So yeah, come join us then. And with all that being said, man, it is your boy Real. Got my cuz Will, BA, Big J. We will be back here on Saturday, y'all. Stay geeked. And we out.